like the beam because it's time for Nerdy for 30, podcast where we talk about nerdy-ish movies, 30-ish minutes. My name is Kevin Bauer, a.k.a. the Critic's Choice. With me, as always, the People's Champ, Tim Cack.
If you feel it, chase it, baby.
If you feel it, chase it, baby. Today, we're talking about Final Destination, the original one from the year 2000. This is one that I had never seen. I didn't like horror movies when this came out. They scared me. I now like horror movies quite a bit. I would say it's probably my favorite genre.
Do they still scare you?
Yeah, but in a good way. I like it.
We all get kinkier as we age.
Yeah, we do. That's true. And this is a sex positive podcast.
No kink shaming here.
I didn't think there was anything that sexy about this movie, Tim.
Yeah, we start off and I want to get scared and now we're sucking toes. Hell yeah.
How,
all about them feet. Love them.
Did we watch the same movie?
Can't get enough feet. I'm just hoping that Final Destination 6, which is going to be coming out this year, or whatever, Final Destination Bloodlines, that'll be an erotic film for sure, I think. A lot of foot stuff.
They could go erotic thriller with these because there's we watched, I won't spoil anything. We saw Mickey 17 yesterday. That is a deeply horny movie. There was a lot of sex and hooking up in that movie. And it's interesting because it's not, there is kind of like a life and death element to it. So there is kind of that aspect of like that, the primal nature of human beings. And I think that's really true in the Final Destination franchise too. The villain of these movies is just the concept of death.
Yes.
But also it's like an entity that it seems like you can outsmart if you're a high schooler, which made me think this is the first movie that has made me think that like death or the Grim Reaper has a really hard job. It seems like the Grim Reaper is really struggling in this movie.
I don't know.
To pull off. Dude, it's clumsy. Like it can't outsmart a couple of high schoolers. It's its job to kill people. Maybe
in this like middle class, upper class town, a bunch of white kids in high school going on field trips to Paris. Yeah, maybe death is a little scarcer in that neighborhood, but come on, you can go anywhere in the world and Dad's having a field day like constantly. I don't know. I do get what you're saying. For whatever reason, the Grim Reaper assigned to these kids has to use Rube Goldberg machines to kill them. There's no way to just he just blows up the airplane. And you're like, okay, cool. That makes sense. He just blew up an airplane. But then it's like, actually, it was an electrical shortage in this, which went to this seat, which went to that seat, which went to that seat. And then the airplane was blown up. And it's like, cool. Well, now this car's going to get hit by a train. It's like, not. The car's got to turn off with the tracks. And then the window can't open. And then it just seems like a lot of different things have to happen in order to killing people. And it's like, what happened to good old war? Just enlist these kids and ship them off. And you're done. You've done your job.
I feel like you just read Guns, Germs, and Steel, and now you're like,
exactly.
Let's talk about death in the 20th century.
It's just them getting like some horrible disease and slowly dying over time.
Do you think it's this is maybe a direction I don't want to steer this conversation in, but I'll float it out there.
Let's go.
Let's see where it goes. Do you think it's weird that this is a movie that came out in the year 2000 that prominently features an exploding airplane as a plot device?
Like, what are the chances? Like, we don't really do that anymore, or at least we haven't.
Yeah, there's been kind of a moratorium on any kind of like depictions of airplanes going poorly since 2001.
Yeah, and now they're back just because we don't have air traffic controllers, and we don't. We're spending less money on airplanes. Doors are just flying off.
It's really just
and whistleblowers are committing suicide left and right. It's crazy.
People don't realize how depressing it is to be a whistleblower.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, there's nothing like. Oh man. The betrayal in your heart. You're like, oh, I can't believe I ratted out Boeing. Oh, I can't. How am I supposed to look myself in the mirror every day?
Oh my God.
How will I ever be able to face Peter at the pearly gates and account for my sins? They're going to turn me away. They're like, you're not welcome here. You ratted out Boeing. Oh no.
Oh Jesus. thinking about taking the most suspicious, like clearly foul play deaths in the world and trying to eliminate any assumption of suspicion from them. Like thinking about if there's some kind of an exacerbating situation that makes windows especially dangerous in Russia. So all these people just keep falling out. And it turns out it has nothing to do with like the SARS or anything in Russia. It's strictly like they have bad regulation around their window safety.
It's like, yeah, what if, Epstein dying in jail was just the Final Destination catching up to him, and all those people survived the plane to his island. and Trump somehow missed it. It's just out there living his best life. And that's why, Epstein managed to kill himself during Trump's administration. And there's lots of evidence that him and Trump spent a lot of time hanging out together.
Nothing suspicious
no
at all.
king shaming here. Suck them toes and we'll put on Final Destination.
Oh my God.
If there was an elaborate way to die, how would you want to go?
Oh my God.
You're thinking mousetrap. We're thinking Rube Goldberg machine. Is there a way that I could somehow, I don't know, get hit in the face with something hilarious? I was like, could I somehow get shot with like a hot dog launcher at a baseball game, and that could just be the end?
I mean, oh boy.
This is a morbid conversation. Let's switch gears.
This is going to be a morbid. I want to dig in because I think part of you need to make sure that if you're going to do this, you need to make sure that like whatever happens to your body after you die isn't going to be a burden on anyone who's around. So if you got killed at a baseball game, there's a lot of kids that would see a person die. So you don't want to do that.
I remember being at a baseball game, like a spring training game as a kid, and somebody hit a foul ball and it hit the woman behind us in the face. And they had like EMTs come and do whatever. And I remember turning to my dad and being like, they didn't stop the game. And he's like, well, yeah, they're going to keep playing, so they're taking care of her, and I remember being shocked by that, where it's like, somebody's actually hurt. How can we just keep playing this silly game when somebody's hurt? So if, let's say hypothetically, it's like halftime, Lakers in Madison Square Garden playing the Knicks, in between a timeout, there's like, 4 minutes left. It's a close game. Some kid runs out on the court with that hot dog launcher, launches it up in the air. It hits the blimp. It bounces off, somehow gets rammed down my throat, and I choke to death and fall all the way from the nosebleeds down the step and land on the court broken and bloodied. They finished the game, right?
Oh boy.
Is it the finals?
Did you say if it's the finals?
Let's make it a regular season game. Regular season game.
Regular
MSG,
season they don't.
LeBron James is there. Luka's there. Jalen Brunson is like going off, man. And Tom Thibodeau's already played them 55 minutes. They're stopping that game.
Dude, if Tom Thibodeau ran this podcast, we'd be dropping 2-hour episodes every week.
We'd be sweating our asses off, just like tongues falling out of our mouths. We need IVs just to keep our saliva going. Tom Thibodeau was running this ship.
It'd be recording day, and we'd be listed day to day while we have like TMJ surgery scheduled for that morning. And it's like, I don't know. I think he's going to be able to talk tonight. We'll see.
Everyone thinks Tom Thibodeau. I feel like the consensus in the league is that Tom Thibodeau is a great coach. And I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. His big strategy is, I'm going to play the good guys more. That can't be it. That just can't be enough.
Yeah.
That can't be enough.
Tim, I think...
Have we talked about this on the pod before? I don't think Tom Thibodeau is a good coach. And I'll say it.
I think you can see exactly how good a coach he is when you look at the Knicks finals championships. If you look at how many finals championships they have, or even times they've made it to the finals under Thibodeau, I think that really will tell you how good of a coach he is.
I think you could compare his rings to the number of players whose careers were cut short by injury.
Oh my God.
And that relationship's real skewed,
Damn. I mean,
Jokic Noah's not bending over for anything anymore,
All these guys are like...
Luol Deng is like, dang, you're putting me in again.
Truly. Like all the like former Knicks, you see them around the rest of the league and they look haunted. I think like a rings to injuries stat and like a permanent injury, like a when you become a different player because
Wear
of the
and
kind
tear,
of injury
you know?
have. Yeah. Like what's like a good word to sum that up? So it's like a concise metric of like rings v like stings or something like that.
Rings v
Rings
stings.
v dings.
Well, I mean, there's got to be like an acceptable ratio because you're obviously going to have more injuries than you are going to have championships.
Right.
So we just need to find out what the acceptable threshold is. Is it like 30%, you know, or 1 to 3, 1 to 5? I think it's probably pretty like, 1 to 20. At what point does it become infallible? Do you think Death is using Tom Thibodeau to carry out a Final Destination-esque scenario for anyone in the Knicks right now?
Absolutely. I think every Nick. I think every single person.
They're just opening themselves up to this, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. This movie's okay. Kevin, how long does it take you to understand what's happening in this movie? I think this is a victim of rewatching it.
Uh-huh.
It's very slow.
Oh, yeah.
And this isn't a great rewatch, I would say. But they have to set up this premise. And this premise is very complicated. And I guess I'm wondering, how complicated is this premise? Do you think they could have done it in a shorter way back then? Or
Absolutely.
do you think this is actually so complicated and dense that they needed all that time dedicated to it? They needed a mortician to just randomly explain it to them and never be shown again.
Oh my God. That dude, what, Tony Todd, Candyman? That guy was the Candyman from the original Candyman series.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
He, I mean, was superfluous in this, but I liked him being in this just because, Tim, finally, they portray a mortician as being a weirdo. I feel like there's been like an underground, like 35-year campaign where all morticians in movies are displayed as being like really chill people that just happen to work in a morgue. And Tony Todd is the first one where it's like, yeah, this guy's going to be a little odd. This guy cuts open dead bodies for a living. He's going to be a little off.
Define odd, because I'm picturing, I think it's Men in Black, where the guy working with the thing puts a sandwich on the guy's chest. And I was like, if that's the standard, then this guy is around there.
See,
he's definitely eating his food with these people.
It's odd, but in that it's like chill odd. Like he doesn't really care. This one is like, this guy got into this because he's like, ooh, dead bodies. Like Tony Todd in this movie seems like he's setting bodies up around a table and he's playing poker with them. It's like the Jerry's Game Pixar short that played before Toy Story, where it's like the old man playing chess with himself. But
That's
it's Tony Todd and all the dead bodies in the morgue. And he's got like a setup like at fucking Washington Square Park where there's a bunch of different chess tables around. And he's just playing all the different bodies every day. And he's like, oh, good move, Walter. You almost got me on that one. He's got whole relationships built out with this team.
I'm picturing he's got that like painting of dogs playing poker, but it's just him and his dead boys, like just all sitting around a table. It's like just a portrait of them, hanging out, having a good time.
He's got a group chat with these dead bodies. It's called Me and My Dead Boys. And he's working their phones one at a time and he's dissociating. He's like, this dude is lost to the ages. But yeah, I think they did not need to spend as much time explaining the plot of this movie. We got it. And I think they could have really simplified this too. I haven't seen any of the Final Destination movies, but the trailers for a couple of these were so iconic. I don't know if it's 2 or 3. The one where it's the highway and like the whole trailer was like the girl on the highway. And yeah, the log truck. Yep. And iconic. It feels like they took the like Rube Goldberg machine situation that killed Todd in the first movie. It feels like they were like, okay, cool. This is the most suspenseful part of this entire movie. This is the part that's really neat. We need to just lock in on this and blow this out for the rest of these movies. And we didn't need any kind of explanation. This whole thing of like, oh, if I save you, then it skips you and it goes to the next person in the chain. The stakes on that don't matter because then it just keeps circling the same people and it becomes like this weird, like, oh, I saved you. So then it skips you and it's on her. So then you save her and it'll skip her and it'll go back to you, but then I'll save you and it'll go back to her. Like this, we can simplify all that. Like, you're in the queue. You don't know. If we make it more of a thing where we don't know the order, we just know that everybody's in danger. It becomes a little bit more fun, I think.
I also don't get the circling back aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't understand. Like the ending doesn't make sense to me. Like the guy dies, but he already got saved, right? So he was next in the queue. They saved him from the train. So now it's coming back around. So now everyone's going to die again.
That's what it's saying, is that apparently nobody's ever saved. Even if they get saved, they're not actually safe. It's just delayed it, and it keeps the same order, which is weird. Like it skips to the next person in the order, but it maintains their place in the queue. It basically slots them down further in like the death queue, if it's like a Spotify playlist.
Yeah. Yeah. They added it to the queue and they dragged it down a few spaces.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly.
Yeah. You popped in the queue.
Another
You're like,
song they wanted to listen to first, but they want it on there.
Actually, Spotify knew better than me what I was into today.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. You know, like when you add something to the queue and then you go and you look at the queue and you're like, oh, these are the songs Spotify had ready for me.
Mhm.
Actually, I'd rather listen to these first. I'm going to drag that baby down. Move it back a couple spaces. There's something weird about, because the premise is right. All these people should have died in this accident.
Right.
So now death's coming for them again.
Mhm.
So now it's going like in order. I don't mind the in order thing. I think that's kind of fun. But then it just starts over. Then it like keeps looping until they're dead. That part seems strange because it did wait like 6 months at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
The logic of it doesn't make any sense to me. I like the idea of what if it was just like one more time or something. I think this is like a big trope, right, of horror movies where they come up with some sort of a cycle.
Mhm.
And then the premise is like, how do we break this cycle?
Exactly.
And ultimately, I feel like the best movies are just like, oh, actually, you can't.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many of these games with like Tear It or like Truth or Dare. And it's like you're stuck in this thing and you can't escape it. You just have to kind of like pass it on to more people or dilute it somehow or buy yourself some more time. But ultimately, it's inevitable. And I think in the future movies, which I've seen, it's been a while, but I've definitely seen 2 and I've seen some of the other ones. This is exactly the kind of movie that needs sequels because complicated premise, amazing execution. We just need more execution going forward. You know, all these other movies in the future need like 15 minutes tops to set us up. We get it. We're going. We're there. Let's just see some fun. Let's see some fun, goofy kills.
Yeah. I mean, this franchise is infinite, dude. I'm shocked that it didn't come back before now because it's one of those things that's like, it will always hit. It will always be scary. Everybody's going to die. Everybody's like morbidly curious how they're going to die. Everybody's anxious. I honestly thought going into this, based on that trailer too, with the logs that I'd seen, I thought that this was going to be basically like a manifestation of any anxiety attack I've ever had or any anxiety I've ever had of like, oh my God, well, what if I don't know that I shut the door all the way. So like, what if the cat gets out, but then, you know, the door gets shut after and he can't get back in and he doesn't know where to go. And then the door gets open down there and then he runs out the front door. And it's like all these little things. I thought it was going to be a lot more along those lines. And I think there's an opportunity to explore that kind of a thing, but like, there's always going to be cool, fun Rube Goldberg ways to set things up. And there's always going to be like high schoolers that want to go see a horror movie with their friends. And this works for any age group. Like this just keeps going forever. It's incredible.
Yeah. I don't think this is necessarily my, I don't know if this is exactly in my horror wheelhouse. I think I prefer a little bit more action and stuff, but I mean, I legit from the second one, I don't drive behind any trucks that have stuff hanging off of them. I always avoid it. I'm always like a mile back. I'll let other people get in there. I am avoiding it completely. Nothing in this movie happens that makes me want to avoid situations. It wasn't like I'm never going to shower again. I'm never going to drive across train tracks. And I think some of the other ones,
a lot of cracked vodka mugs on top of your computer, though. So I think you really should cut back on that. We've been telling you about that for months.
I will have to cut back on that and leaving a lot of knives out on kitchen counters and just starting. I don't remember how that fire started, but there's just
I think the oven exploded.
The oven exploded. I'm not always worried about that, but there's definitely, you know, we're surrounded by. I don't want to even talk about this, but it does seem like it resonates. I think in future ones, it does resonate a little too much. Like where there's things that could go wrong that are like, oh, this is in my house, you know, like your TV somehow murdering you. The odds of that are so small, but now every time I see a TV, I'm going to think that,
yeah,
you know, like the highway thing. I'm just always going to be thinking about that and avoiding that. And I think that's something to tap into with the future ones. And I'm not sure if I really want that, though. I think that is like, I feel like that is the peak of this premise, but I'm not sure that's exactly what I want in my horror. You know, I don't know if
Sure.
I want to like go home and be like really reflecting on like what my environment is and the things I can't control, you know, like watching a movie about a plane crash, like as you're boarding a plane.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
Like, that's like just kind of like a little too close to home right now.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
want it to be a little bit heightened. Like if one of these things, like there's a lot of loose sockets in here. If one of these Final Destination movies came out and it was like a wire got loose in a socket because something was plugged in wrong, then it's like, well, this is too realistic. It's sad.
I was going to say your sockets are looking extra loose today. I mean, you had a window open, a breeze came in and the whole house rattled from all those loose sockets slapping around in your walls.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's like wind chimes in my walls right now. They
like
just slam back to back. There's some of these things you try to plug something in, you can't even get it in because the socket's like wiggling back and forth. It's like a boxer dodging the blows.
It's like Prime Ali just like dodging each attempt at the
it's bobbing, it's weaving, it's
roping
tough,
it, doping
dude.
you while
I'm
you're
just
trying to plug
a lamp in.
thing.
I can't even see it because there's no light in the room because I can't get this lamp in. I need to hire an electrician to come in, just a contractor for one day. Put in some shims. It does need to be a little bit heightened. I agree with that. I do think, I mean, another thing that's incredible about this is that in the perfect form of these movies, any of these Rube Goldberg sequences is a YouTube clip. It's like a prime, like 2.5 minute YouTube clip where, you know, when you're going through and binging, like you can watch a super cut of them, like the Saw stuff, like people dying in Saw movies, or like things like that. It's like these things that are inherently like clippable and can exist on the internet in the way that things do now, or pop up in TikTok when you're scrolling through. It's like, I feel like those kinds of quick, tight sequences are what horror movies need to thrive. And that's what I'm saying. I'm shocked it took this franchise so long to come back because it feels built for that.
It does. It really does. But there's been a bunch of these.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. When was do you know when the last one was before the one that's coming out this year?
I don't remember, but I think it's been like 10 years or something. Someone's going to get mad at us, but let's see.
All the Final Destination heads are going to pop up.
Final Destination heads are going to come out of the war. 2011.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
Yeah.
But do you think this is a very repeatable premise?
Oh, absolutely.
Anyone could do this thing.
I think where they will get lost in the sauce on these is in trying to have an overarching narrative. Trying to have like, you know, I don't know. I'm projecting here based on the era when these came out. I feel like they probably had an over-reliance on bringing the same characters back and trying to have people be like, you know, scarred by the past selves. This is something that the Scream franchise thrives at that I don't think I've ever seen anybody else really pull off, especially in horror. Like even in the Halloween movies, you have to pretty much jump from like Halloween 2 to the Halloween movie in 2018. Because there's like a bunch of weird shit they do with Laurie Strode later. You just got to skip over all that. And then you also have to skip over Halloween Ends and Halloween Kills. So you get like a trilogy out of these things. But
yeah, I know Clear comes back in the second one. I don't know if she comes back in another one.
Can I ask, is her name Clear? Like not Claire. They say it is Clear. And in the subtitles in the movie, it's Clear.
It's Clear. Her name's Clear.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
sorry. I know we're trying to
Clear Rivers.
Clear Rivers?
We're just like, all right, hippie, get out of here. We need those factories. Wouldn't want to eat fish from the river. Grow up. We need tires.
Somebody needs to do the hard backbreaking labor of coming into your house and making sure the sockets are secured.
We need the socket factory.
This
falling apart. They're only making loose sockets now. And the river's we got to dump this.
These goddamn regulations mean we can't afford the right kind of magnesium to put in these sockets. I'm pretty sure magnesium is very flammable. I don't think they're
going to dump these magnesium into the river. So every fish you grill catches fire.
It's the only way to cook it well enough to burn all the chemicals out that we're pumping into the river. You want us on that wall. You need us on that wall. It's pretty much the libertarian stance is like, yeah, well, who's going to solve all the problems we caused? The private sector, that's who.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of money in cleaning up the river. So that's somebody will start that business.
And who better than BP? Who has the delicate microplastic nets that we need to get the microplastics out of the water that we put there? We put it there. We know how to solve it.
Yeah.
God damn.
The best people to solve this problem are the people who caused it. It's like if somebody like shot you and then they were also your surgeon to get the bullet out. Listen, I put the bullet in there. I'm the best person to get it out.
Oh my God. Somebody coming up, shooting someone point blank. Everyone else in the room is like, oh my God. And them then holding them hostage. Like, listen, if you want your loved one to live, I'm the only man for the job.
Oh man, horror premise idea, right? Okay, there's a doctor. He's a great doctor. He's like the best doctor. He's the best surgeon, right? And anytime there's like a crazy injury, someone gets like, you know, a tree through their chest or, you know, impaled on a fence, you know, they go there and he saves them all the time. And then it turns out the reason why he saves them is he has a room full of people he's trapped. And whatever the victim comes in with, he does that to the person that he's trapped. And then he tries to save their life, and he'll do it as many times as it takes to save them.
So, okay, well, hold on. I don't want to poke holes. I just want to, you know, clarify some points so we can work around them. So these are emergency situations. So let's say someone comes through, they have a fence pole through them. This is an emergency situation, time is limited. You're saying that what this doctor does is basically practice.
Yeah.
So he's going to put fence poles through some other people, practice, make sure he gets good at it. And then that's how. I'm into it if he's also a time traveler.
Why does he have to be a time traveler?
So
Why can't he just be a
practice?
psycho? What do you mean time to practice? Okay. Okay. So what if he's like an ER doctor, like emergency doctor, right?
Uh-huh.
A patient comes in, they're impaled on a tree. He tries to save them and he can't. Right. So he's like, it's eating at him. He's like, I want to be able to save more people. So then he starts kidnapping people, torturing them by doing the thing that his patient had, and then trying to save them. And he's going through like 5 of them because it turns out when you take a tree to the heart, it's a little hard to come back.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Yeah, that's kind of dark. It's like a Saw, but like his intentions are ultimately twisted in a good way.
Yeah. I think this also kind of feels like a Black Mirror premise where it would be like the people getting killed. Like we wouldn't know it starting the episode. We're watching people like, you know, get like a let's say tree through the heart. And we're like, man, we really empathize with these people. They keep getting trees through the heart. And we don't realize that they are a simulation that a doctor is running. And it's like, oh, all these simulated people have to die and lose their simulated lives so that the surgeon can save this one person down the road. Because in the world the surgeon lives in, there's trees going through hearts left and right. It's like Oklahoma 2050. The tornadoes are permanent now. There's trees flying everywhere, dude.
Russia has figured out how to weaponize trees, and they're launching tree-seeking missiles at us. That's
heart-seeking trees.
Heart-seeking trees at heart-seeking tree missiles.
They've got their top botanists or arborists developing trees that are specially formulated to grow in a perfectly heart-piercing shape.
Oh, you were into Norse mythology ever?
Yeah.
There's a story about Balder. You know, Balder the Brave, and his brother of Thor, and I guess his mom wanted him to be safe, so she went to everything in existence and asked it not to hurt him. Stone, don't hurt him. And the stone was like, I promise I won't hurt him. Went to all these different things and made them promise that they wouldn't hurt him, except for mistletoe. She's like, mistletoe's harmless. No one's gonna. I think it was mistletoe. It was like some weed.
Yeah, I think it is mistletoe.
Right. And so then it becomes a game. All the gods are hanging out and they're all like trying to stab Balder, and the steel bends away. They're throwing rocks at him. The rocks move out of the way. Like nothing they have, no weapon they have access to will hurt Balder because it's promised not to. And Loki basically tricks his blind brother, something, I forget the name of him, he makes a dart out of mistletoe, and then he has the brother throw it at Balder. It pierces him and it kills him. Why was I thinking about this?
Because of trees going through hearts.
I guess that's what I was picturing with the trees. But it's like, listen, no, modern weaponry, not working. Gunfire, can't take them out. Swords, nothing. Missiles, nothing. How about tree to the heart?
Yeah, that'll do it 100 out of 100 times, dude. Tree to the heart, undefeated. It's like the log in X-Men, how like when we rewatch the X-Men movies, there kept being deaths where people got pierced through with logs. Logs, fastest way to kill a mutant, man. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, yeah. Man, the logs. Logan got taken out by a log.
Logan got taken out by a log. It's crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah. Which of the deaths in this movie would you least want? I don't know. How do you, can we talk about this? There's the thing at the end where Ali Larter's in the car and like there's a fucking live wire and he's like, you're grounded by the tires of the car. Don't move. And what he does is he picks up a metal shovel.
Yeah.
And it's got a wood handle. Wood is combustible under these conditions. And like it does knock the shovel out of his hands, but it's just an insanely bad plan.
And wood is a stone's throw away from a tree. So that thing gets near his heart. He's done. He's done for. I think that one doesn't make any sense. It's weird that he feels like he has to interject there, like unless he feels like there's also pressure to save her because she is next.
Oh,
so maybe that's why he's doing all this stupid stuff. But you're right. So far, she's in a situation with the car where it seems like she's okay, right? Like lightning can strike a car and you can survive. Yeah. Right. Isn't that a thing?
It's definitely
Listen,
a thing.
if you're driving right now, don't let me influence your decision one way or the other about lightning in a car. I'm not liable for any of this.
We got coverage through LegalZoom. We're not liable for anything that we say on this podcast.
Yeah, anything we say or do in real life, we are not. We've diplomatic immunity as podcasters. That one's weird. The shower one is weird to me too, where I was like, just stand up. And there's soap on the floor.
Slippery.
And it's like, yes, but then like there's the side of the tub. It's like, just put your hand out to the tub and just like you could sit on it, you know? It just seems like I just feel like that's like the most pathetic one.
That's definitely pathetic.
The other ones, it's like, I get it. You know, your house is on fire, the kitchen knife through the heart. I get it. You're stuck in the car. Oh, crazy. A piece of sheet metal just comes flying through and knocks your head off.
You can't do anything about that.
I get it. Those are out of your hands. But dying in the shower, choking to death on, what even was that? What is this hanging thing from the shower?
I think it's for, I had an apartment that had one of these one time. I think it's supposed to be something with like hanging up your clothes to dry. Like, I think it's supposed to be like a clothesline you can use.
Weird.
But it's weird because it's not, maybe it's just the one that I had. It's like not taut, but it's probably because, you know, the thing was like 40 years old by the time I had it. But yeah, it's weird. I don't think anybody makes it.
But it like wraps around him and then his weight does the thing. Do you think they just stopped making them after this movie?
Yeah, I think so. I think this was the final tree in that heart that killed it permanently.
Do you think some guy was making bank like Mr. Mr. Clothesline, Mr. Shower Clothesline?
Yeah.
You know, came from a long line of, you know, people named Mr. Shower Clothesline.
Yeah, his lineage was named that because that's how they made their money back in the day, is shower clotheslines.
Yeah, like Baker or something. Mm-hmm. It's just Mr. Shower Clotheslines. And then this movie came out and they were like, F this.
Yeah, we're done.
I'm in trouble. We're done. Like Instant Pot when that one show where the Instant Pot thing caught fire.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. The crock pot and
the crock
This
pot.
Is Us. Yeah.
This Is Us crock pot.
When they had there were like two things in a row for Peloton where people died on Peloton bikes. I think one was
Mr.
in real
Big
life
from
and then
Sex and
Mr.
the
Big in
City,
Sex
right?
and the City. And Peloton stock dipped. Like, it's crazy. And that's when they were doing well. So, man.
So weird. What is okay. I was just trying to think of like what's a franchise that we could really lower some stock with in this next movie.
Oh boy.
Right.
What? Yeah, it'd be cool if they started like trying to, like if these movies were basically hits and it's like, we're really going to take out, you know,
like Lowe's is a pretty, what did you say? Walgreens? Oh, I thought you said Wahlburgers for a second. I was like,
Wahlburgers has been high on the hog for too long.
They've been trading pretty well lately in the stock market. They're putting some orders for later today.
Wahlburgers would be just crypto.
I was like, Lowe's, that's a steady stock. You know, you get some dividends. Sure. It's really gone up, you know.
Lowe's is great because there's so much shit in the store.
Yeah.
Like 2x4s could fall onto you. You know, you could fall forward into a thing full of closet hooks. You could, there's a whole lighting section. Yeah, you could just trip and stick your finger into a light socket, and there you go.
Okay, here's what the next movie should be. It's there's an accident, they survive. There's 5 people, they're gonna die in order, but they really have to finish their home renovation.
Yeah,
they really have because it's also a TV show where they fix up how they're flipping houses on a TV show.
They have 24 hours to flip the house.
Yes.
Then they're going to move that bus. So they know the move that bus is coming. It's less than a day away.
And they have to go to Lowe's. While the Grim Reaper's hunting them. That's amazing. I mean, that's what they should be doing with these premises. That'd be so fun.
Oh,
Let's come up with the dumbest. They just really force people's hands with this stuff.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
into
they're
it.
on a reality show. Move that bus, man. Yeah, what if it was like Traders? Been watching Traders, that show, and it's like all just kind of reality celebrities in a house and like Final Destination, but it's that. Could be interesting.
Honestly, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Something dumb that like keeps you there, where you're like, listen, the Grim Reaper's following me. I gotta go, and they're like, yeah, but you made it to the second round of this Alan Cummings hosted reality show. You can't leave the mansion now. They're like, how are you going to get back to America? There's nowhere to go. I just think, yeah, they just really need some good excuses to keep people there. Kid's birthday party.
Kid's birthday party is so funny.
We have to celebrate this birthday
God.
party. We have to celebrate grandma's like 90th birthday or something.
Work on site. Like, what if you can't leave because it's a work on site? It's like, we got to be here all week. It's a team building activity.
Work is so funny. Like one of those like company wides where like we need everybody in the office, and then the CEO Skypes in. If any of you leave, you're fired.
Yeah.
But also Final Destination's happening.
Oh my God. Final Destination, all hands.
All hands. They're like at a wilderness retreat.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Like a climbing course.
Damn. Oh, climbing course is a great one.
Yeah.
Holy shit. There's so many.
Those climbing course. What's the worst? Yeah. What's the worst thing you would have to do if you are Final Destination?
Trust fall.
Trust fall. It's the last thing I'm doing. Are you going scuba diving?
Building? No, absolutely.
Are you scuba diving in a Final Destination movie?
Never. There's a thing, if we're selling team building, there's a team building activity we had to do where we had to build a boat, and we did it in Boy Scouts one time too, where the whole thing is like, you have to strategize and you're given like the same amount of cardboard, and it's like sheets of cardboard and like duct tape and a Sharpie, but you have like no scissors or anything. And the whole thing is you're supposed to try to figure out how best to organize the same supplies. And it's like, the whole thing is like your team has to strategize and agree, and it's a timed activity. I think you have like half hour to plan and like an hour to build. And then you take this thing out, and I'm thinking team building activity. One of those boats is going down. Somebody's drowning that boat.
Yeah, being sent out to sea.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. Oh my God.
Don't worry, it's not Croc season.
Oh, and it
like,
sure is.
It's like, oh no, it turns out it's been a little warmer than usual.
Oh my God.
These moms are looking for eggs to lay somewhere. I guess Croc's the egg.
Yeah. I'm saying it.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Final Destination.
Yeah, pretty cool. Listener, what do you think? What stocks would you like to see plummet based on future Final Destination movies? Let us know. Send us an email, nerdyfor30@gmail.com. We'll read it on the show. We'll be back here again next week. Until then, stay nerdy, everybody.
Stay nerdy.
Bye.
Bye.